we've been asked to come down here and erect this scaffold so that the ceiling can be painted, plaster repairs and fixings so that the render is solid and it doesn't drop down on anybody. That's basically what we're actually doing. This company of painters is called DG Rivers and they're battling on. So it should be well and truly finished by this week. I'll show you what we actually have done is, can't see it now, it's done, it's plastered over. We put some mortar repairs here and there. And
what, was that the plaster itself that had broken away?
Yeah, it had decayed. And what we found when we were going around is when we gently pressed the plasterwork, it was going in because the laths actually run vertical rather than horizontal. So they don't actually catch the side, so you've got a springiness.
So the laths are parallel with those big beams there?
Yes, they're vertical.
Right.
They are vertical. There's some parts of it that they go horizontal, but most of them are vertical. So what we did was we put this PSC in, along with it's like a draft excluder.
When you say PSE, is that initials for some type of timber?
Yes, it's just pressurized. It's just nice timber, not like batten. You could put batten in here, ordinary batten, and it wouldn't be the same. This is good stuff.
Treated in some way.
This will last. And what we did was we put this like a sponge membrane between it and the plasterwork, so as when it'll support it without it actually being destructive, if you know what I mean. Well, that's basically what we did.
So it's holding that plasterwork firmly against the lath plaster.
And we've done that in most of the bays. You can see 3, 4, 5 bays over there, and then we go along another 3 bays over there, but mostly on this side. This was the most deteriorated side that we found, and it's worked.
And you've just gone, well, actually you've gone up higher on some than others.
Yes, because we could have went from ground to ceiling.
Yes.
But if we pressure it in, the chances are we might crack something that is otherwise not cracked.
Yes.
And we couldn't take the risk yet, so we just did what we thought was right. So, and that's basically what we've done up here. As I say, the painters are.
So now you've made all the plaster work good.
It's secure.
Firm, secured, and now the painters are.
It's secured, and plus the paint will just hold it all together as well. So everything's fine. Everything's hunky-dory.
What condition are the main timbers in?
The main timbers are fine.
Good.
Yeah, we checked. We had a structural engineer come in and checked the timbers, and also the architect's been up. He's checked them. Our company have checked them, and they seem quite happy with them.
Good.
As also, when the roof was off, all the timbers would have been checked in anyway.
Yes.
Before the roof was re-roofed.
Yes, that was last year. Wonderful.
But generally the timbers are sound. That's what it is?
Yeah, that sound going back for, wasn't it?
Yes.
The paint that you're putting on there, is that just the same type of paint that we would buy and use at home, or is it something special?
No, this is a Farrenball product called a cassine distemper. Right.
Right. And what's in there that isn't in the ordinary white stuff that I use?
It's what would be termed as an early microporous paint. It breathes, unlike vinyl emulsions, modern emulsion paints. Yeah.
Why do you want a paint that breathes?
Because of the structure of the building, if you seal it in, then you can create damp problems.
Right.
This enables the film of the paint itself to actually breathe, so you haven't got any accumulation of any damp, or if there was a leak, it wouldn't hold it back. The water could go right through.
I suppose that has a value in that you'd see rather quickly that it was leaking before
Yeah.
a lot of damage was done.
Years ago this would have been done in a lime wash, because that's all they had. In Victorian times, you used to splash it all over pigsties and everywhere. And it killed all the bugs and everything. And it made everything quite useful, you know, expecting barns, etc.
So that's why they did it pretty well every year.
That's right.
It wasn't just to make it look pretty,
Oh,
it
no,
had,
no.
had a bug-killing quality to it.
Yeah.
If you look up here, you'll see the ladder beams which are supporting the roof.
Yes.
You also have the braces which go right across the roof, which will suspend a tarpaulin, which will make it totally dry, so as we can carry on with the work of it. As I said before, that we're removing all the tiles, ridge tiles, checking for any damage to the timber and rafters and beams, replacing with new membrane, new batten, and a mixture of new and old tiles. Everything seems to be catching up now. We're humpy-dinky at the moment, so hopefully this will be completed by Tuesday, at the latest Wednesday.
When you say this will be completed, that's the tarpaulin and the general covering?
Yes, the temporary roof will be, it'll be completed by Tuesday or Wednesday. Hopefully Tuesday. We got the roofers coming on Tuesday just to survey what they're going to do. I'll take you inside into the chancel, and you can see a similar birdcage as we had for the decoration. We polished every pew with wax and a polisher, and we've mopped all the floors to try and keep the dust down. That's what we do. That's when we make the mess, we clear it up.
That's wonderful. And you've...
on here, we had a funeral today, and we have a funeral tomorrow, and a funeral next week, leading up to the wedding in March, I believe. So we've decided to hang this green, we call it debris netting down. So when the time comes for either the wedding or if someone doesn't like it, they can poke flowers or something through it for the girl for her weddings. And that's basically it. What we've done in here, as you can see, the roof, the painting's done. All the beams were checked. Everything's humpy-dinky. It looks, we won't have to go up there for a long time. Well, I won't be around anyway. So, as you can see, we've erected a birdcage similar to the one we had in the nave, a little bit smaller, but not a lot. And it'll be the same purpose. It'll be a working platform. It will be an inspection platform. As when we go up, I'll show you what we're going to inspect. The large window will be protected by Corex.
What's Corex?
Corex is like a hardened plastic, but it's about 10 mil thick, and it's opaque. You know, it's like one of those a pearl bulb. You can't see through it.
You've put it outside that window, haven't you, already?
We put it outside the Horde chapel window already, and other windows. But for the inside, although there won't be much work going on interior-wise, it'll be protected nevertheless, both windows, with Corex, so as no damage can be done whatsoever. Again, with the tracery here, it'll be protected. I'm just working through, and I just want to get everybody. Also, the figures at the back.
Oh, the rear dos.
Yes, that's it. What's it called?
A rear dos.
A rear dos. So we're getting there. As I say, outside next week, the roofers will be coming. I myself am going around with one of our managers, and we're going to inspect the downwater piping. the gutters, the diners, and those that have to come off will be taken off next week. At the moment we're on a bird cage which we constructed in the chancel. This will enable us to inspect the timbers. When the roof is open, we can check for damage or for anything that has to be replaced. Looking at it, it looks very, very sound because it's a very well constructed church, really. We're hoping that I don't see any damp that has run down or anything like that. You see, also you can see little repairs of stone.
Oh,
Just-
up in that corner, in that
Just up-
triangle.
yes, just in there. And
Is that damp that's done that?
no, it's just probably age. And like if you go right up, render and plaster walls, well, we can just cut that back and just make it good and replace it. It's quite sound. It's quite a sound church, really. You know, it's just the roof is the main thing. If our preparation's right, then the roof going on will outlast generations.
That's the roof outside you're talking
Yes,
about.
we're talking about the chancel roof. Yes. One little panel missing.
Oh, a little
Maybe
piece
not.
of glass.
Yes, a tiny amount of glass on, and that's where the draft's coming from. I'm trying to find out where it is. It's around somewhere. Also, your bat. That's probably how your bat gets in.
I'm sure there
No
are
one and
all
only
sorts
bathroom.
of tiny holes, if only you could see.
Well, there are. What looks small to us is massive to a bat.
Huge for a bat.
Mm.
Yes.
Well, as I say, that green netting that I erected down there,
Yes.
next, from Monday onward, I'll construct another batten across that will actually be below the arch by about a foot. So at night time, I can drop the polythene and the green netting down to that level so the bat can come in and fly back and forward, or his friends, or whatever else he brings, and come in and do it. So we had the bat bloke out yesterday, Mr. Colin Menendez, and we went up the tower and checked the tower for droppings and to see if there was any bats up there. But at this time of year, they'd be somewhere away from the bells, I think, somewhere warm as well. So he explained to us what we had to do.
Which is what?
We have to provide access at all times for a bat or for a colony of bats.
To get right inside
that
the church?
they can come inside the church and fly out. Because they have, wherever they roost, they have a homing sense which goes around it. And if that netting's in the way, it'll not be right for it.
Yeah.
So then it'll stress it out, and nowadays you cannot stress a bat, which is fair comment. Since the last time, the roofers have been in. Scaffolders finished, the roofers have been in, and they've taken all the tiles off the south elevation. Tomorrow they're going to clean between the joists, and in a moment we'll go around the corner and we'll see what was salvaged out of the roof tiles and which wasn't.
Could you please point to the different lots of timber and tell me what's called, whether they're joists or braces or...
Well, this is ordinary batten for the timber. This is Ian, a sourcing board. and this is just joists across, strengthening joists. But they go at a nice diagonal, which is unusual, but not that unusual, but it's nice.
Right.
And
But it's a good roof.
But it's a good roof. So from what we can gather, that it's, I'm not going to, because we haven't given it, Thursday we're going to give it a close inspection. But from what you can see, it seems to be quite dry and good and strong, and you know, as it was planned out to be, hopefully.
What's the covering that you've put over? Is it a tarpaulin?
It's called sheeting.
Shedding?
Sheeting.
Sheeting.
Yes.
Sorry, your Irish
And
accent.
it runs in the little runners, and you pull it, and it pulls taut right over the top of the roof. So there's no flapping. So you get flapping, then it comes out of its socket, and then it flaps and water gets into the roof and such and such. Now behind you, on the floor, is the remnants of the cast iron box gutter.
Right.
Now these were filled with concrete,
Why?
so they wouldn't leak, and it holds them down as well, doesn't it?
Oh, I see.
They probably did leak when they were first put up, and then somebody decided, well, we'll put concrete in it. That way the water will run off the top of the concrete. Right. But this was right along the top of this plate here, this stone plate. From that end to the other end.
Right up to there.
And they were tied in through the back, like this. They were tied in behind these joists. There's one there.
Ah, yes. Yes.
Little around me. So it would actually go down inside there, and it was it was a flat screw on top and into the timber here, into the timber wall plate.
I understand.
So it was screwed in, and it held the box gutter, and quite tight really. It was a job getting them out. So
What will go back in its place?
they've devised a new gutter for it, a nice new one which will be more easily maintained. The roof's coming down to it.
And will that be metal?
Oh yes. It'll be metal. Yes, it'll be cast iron from long bottoms. And
you've already put the first sheet of the membrane up there?
well, we put that up because water runs down the side of a wall,
Yes.
condensation, and it would run inside the church because there's nothing to stop it now.
Right, yes, because it could have come just from the very top there.
It'll just run down the wall,
Yeah.
find its own way down, and drip, and then you would have damage inside. And that was the whole idea of putting this thing up so we wouldn't get damaged inside. Which is doing it's all right. It's quite
Doing its
sound.
job, and the weather's been kind,
Well, yes.
rain-wise, for the
But
last few days.
Even when it's raining, this is totally waterproof because we've got monoflex all the way around, so the wind and rain can't drive in. But then the amount of water that would run down there would be minimal. Could have been running onto the tieback and run away. So it's in all intents and purposes, it's watertight.
Yes, for your needs.
For our needs.
Yes.
And once the roofers are, well, you've known Everest roofing from the other roof, from
Yes.
the nave roof, when you know how quickly they can be. So as soon as they get this all cleaned off, all this batten's coming off. New batten will be going on to it.
What is this battening made of? Is it elm?
It's just ordinary softwood.
Softwood
Yeah.
from what?
Well, it's just pine.
Pine, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Bryce Norton trying to drown us out there.
So the new batten on, cleaned out.
And these diagonal timbers, they are sturdy.
Well, they look quite sturdy. As I say, there could be parts of it that are not sturdy, but we haven't been able to get up there properly yet. And there'll be a more thorough examination on Thursday.
Right. Well, you've got all these bits of loose mortar and stone to take out.
Yes,
haven't you?
all this. The lads from Everest are going to start taking that out tomorrow.
So they're the people who did the tiling the other side?
Yes, Everest Roofing, yes.
They're going to come back and tile this, are they?
Yes, they're here now, and they'll be here now until it's tiled.
Right.
And they're going to do the lead as well.
Right.
There's new lead to go on up there.
That's each end, isn't it?
Yes.
Down the
each end of
down the side.
And over to the north side as well.
Brilliant. Right.
Okay?
Yep.
Onward and upward. Now, if you walk up on top of there, it's much easier.
Okay.
This is the amount of tiles that they've salvaged from that side of the roof. I would say that maybe between 40 and 50% of them weren't reusable.
Now, what was wrong with them that you couldn't
crumble.
reuse them? Right, they've gone biscuity, have
Yeah,
they?
they crumble. Yeah,
Okay.
and they crumble away. So, and if you put them back, then within a year,
You're up again, aren't you?
you would be up again. We would be forever snagging them. So
And these are ridge tiles.
these are the ridge tiles. They seem quite good.
So you've managed to keep most of those?
Yes, yes,
Brilliant.
yes. Most of them are there,
Brilliant.
and yeah, they're very careful and very good.
It's supposed to come back and
Do the rest
the
of
next
it?
bit, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, you'll see the box cutter on this side more
Oh yes, you got a good piece there.
better. This is cast. This is cast, and it was filled with this concrete.
So that's the lump of concrete behind it.
Yes, which had mesh in it, concrete. It was, excuse me, a sod to get out.
Yes,
And it's
absolutely.
without damaging anything. The whole idea is to get something out without damaging the surroundings. Yeah, so this box cutter is all the way along again on this side, and the same thing will go on this side, a new gutter to complement all the other gutters.
Who will make them?
Long bottom. Is it long bottoms? Yes, long bottoms.
And where are they based?
Bristol, I think. I think it's Bristol. It will be the same ones who made the ones for the other side.
I never had them pointed out to me, so it's new, new to me.
Now you can see. This is where these.
There's a tie.
These
Yes.
are tied in.
And there's another one a yard to the right of it.
Well, yes, they're right along
Yes.
to support something. You know this structurally. If I grab it around here for a second, try and get them out from it. Yes. Each one of these I've taken out of, I've photographed and see, there he goes in there.
Yes. So they're very well set in, aren't they?
Oh yes, they're very well put in. Yes. It's like anything of this era. It's just all well put in. Now, these. If I can get my fingers in. Ouch. That's the flat bit there, and he's screwed into this.
Ah, yes.
Into
yes,
this
into
purlin.
that big.
Yes.
Do you call it a purlin?
Yes. So he's into
The big
there.
vertical ones,
Yes.
purlins.
So he's
Right.
screwed into there. Now some of them are screwed into the back, into this plate. Doesn't seem to be a plate on this side. So they're probably done them into the purlins to hold them.
When the architect came on Monday, did he find anything inside in the roof that needed doing?
Well, no, not yet. He hasn't. As I say, he only came up for a preliminary inspection because we're putting a scaffold up the tower, halfway up to the clock, just underneath
Oh, right.
the clock, because we have to do some work up there.
So
he can make
that's
the
the room with the carillon in and the electric
Yes.
working for the clock.
Yes.
Right.
So he's gone away, and then then he'll be back Thursday to discuss his findings,
Right.
and things move on from there. That's the way they usually happen. Architects come out, structural engineers, and then we have a meeting like once every month or something like that to discuss where we are and how we're going on. Yeah. So yeah, no, we seem to be all right.
This is the mucky side of the job, I'm afraid, but
It's always amazing to see how easily they come off, and you think, why doesn't a wind get underneath and
Sheer
do it?
weight. The weight of them just keeps them there.
what we're finding on this second phase of the church is that we haven't got wooden pegs, we've got the old galvanised nails, and we did find on the first phase of the job that we were having two pegs in each tile. But we've only got the one fixing on this particular one, which is something that's not explainable really. I mean, obviously the architect or the tiler that did the other side felt that he needed 2 holes, but in my working life I've never needed two holes in the tile to make it secure, because the weight of it holds it on. The fixing on there is just to stop it sliding out, you know.
Stop it slipping down the roof.
There isn't really a reason for it. It's just curious how one side of the church is done different to the other, you know.
But that's a metal peg, and the other side,
Yeah,
they
this
were
is an
wooden
old,
ones.
yeah,
These
these
are
are beginning to,
galvanised
galvanised
nails.
pegs, and they're just beginning to rust away now, you know. Well, actually, that's
a couple of old nails.
Yeah, that's the old cut nails, isn't it?
The old cut nails they put in there.
Yeah, a couple of.
Oh, you got them? Yeah.
That's the blacksmith's cut nail, isn't
I was
it?
going to say, they look like horseshoeing nails.
Yeah, so very similar, aren't they?
I put anything in as long as it held a tile on.
I mean, what we're going to do on here is the same as what we did on the other side, you know, obviously save what we can salvage and make up with new ones afterwards. But it's sort of, I would say they're slightly worse on this bit than what they were on the other bit, but it's a job to know until we've done it all, you know, gone right over it, Don.
Where they salvaged about between 40 and 50% on that side, they probably lose more like 60 to 70% on that side, because they're more fragile.
It's northeast.
I mean, it's looking more and more as we go along that we're going to probably salvage enough to do probably one side, so we're nearly on a 50. I mean, it might be a 45, but you can't really tell, Don.
No,
but I mean,
no, we can't tell.
But on that roof, the other side, we did pretty well on the back, but we used quite a few more new ones on the front, as you can see. You know, I mean, so and they need a little.
What he's saying, I think that we're going on a 50-50 basis. That it'll be 50% of new.
Yes.
Mixed up with the 50% of the ones we've salvaged, because a lot of them they can't. Well, they won't put them. He said he won't put them back in because they'll be gone in a year.
Yeah, not worth
less than a year. One good winter, and they'll be gone. You know what I mean? So there's no sense in putting those back if it's fragile. It's gone. You know what I mean? It's frightening, really.
I wonder when this side of the roof was re-roofed.
It's got lime torching, so I mean it was before the Second World War, wasn't it? You know, I mean, we started bringing in, not as I was about, but I mean...
I didn't come up this early with the other one. Did the other one have lime torching underneath?
Yes, it did.
It did,
yeah,
right.
It's exactly the same as this. Battens rather than laths. I mean, a very old roof wouldn't have battens. It would have the old lathing.
Indeed.
Because the other side had lath and plaster, whereas I can see this.
This is. I mean, I haven't had the chance to. Well, I haven't been inside the church on this one, but this has got boarding, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no.
I mean, what we had on the other side was the danger of the lath and plaster coming, and some of it did actually. Don, you say that was the problem. I know they had to do some work on the ceilings in there, on the actual lime.
Yeah, we've done that, and we did that, and it's gone as done. So we were.
But I mean, as for the roofing part of the job, we're going to be using the same materials as we did over there, and we're going to be screwing the battens on and using copper peg nails, copper pegs for the holding the tiles on, and basically doing the same as we did there. As far as I know, Don, we're using the quarry that we used to supply us with that round there. That was the Naunton quarry, I think I told you, didn't I? From Stow on the Wold.
Yes.
And I believe that's what we're going to do this time, get the because they were a very good match actually, bar for the colour. They were nice thickness and
good thickness.
you know, they matched in really well on that other side. I mean, it's just a question of letting it blend down now, you know, get the which is a process of 2 or 3 years. I'm not saying the architect is wrong in his approach to the job, but you're mixing new tiles with old, which we've got to assume that a new tile is going to outlive an old tile.
Oh, yes.
So it always sort of makes me think, well, I wonder why they didn't do one elevation in new and one elevation in reclaimed. Because at least you know you've got one elevation that is going to last longer than...
Well, yes.
But again...
as you say,
you know,
some of those tiles that run there are quite sound.
Oh, they'll last another...
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah. Because, I mean,
You know what I mean?
we're discarding anything that we don't think's going to, you know, last a good many years.
Are you in the process of measuring and cleaning and checking now?
Yeah, this is sizing them out ready to go back onto the roof, and we're using this stick for the size, as you see. That's an 11-inch tile, so we're using the end of there to give us the measurement, and then that goes in to that stack there, you see, and then we've...
So you're measuring from the hole
From
where
the hole
you'll hang it?
to the bottom of the tile, yeah. And then when we start laying, obviously the big ones are the bottom ones, and then we grade them down to 6-inch ones at the top. So you're going from about a 21-inch long right down to a little chap like that, which is about 7 inches.
Gosh, that is small.
So you're going from that size to that size.
You've actually written the measurement on the backboard
that's
there.
so I know, you know, so I know what stack is what. We're stripped off both sides now. The lads are doing a bit of timber work in the bottom of the, down in the bottom
yes,
there.
I think I saw that round here.
We've got the architect coming Thursday, so they've sort of set up some pieces here.
So the new bits that they've put in there, is that to replace something or in addition?
Well, what we had was a box gutter sat on top of the wall.
Ah, right,
So
yes.
they've done away with that and put this oak timber in here. And in order for us to tile, we've had to cut these back, and then these are going in there. So our tiling will sweep that way.
Right, the way up. Yeah.
And then this was all rotten in the secret gutter there. So what they've done is mocked up that will be lead in there, bent out to there. But we found all this was rotten down there, you see. So
What was that? The lead or the stonework?
well, the timber. You see the timber
itself.
in there. The lay,
Up at the top.
Yeah,
Yes.
and the lead was all split as well. So we're going to put new lead in there into that secret gutter, and then the tiling will go over that gutter in there. If you get.
Right, yes. So the lead will actually be covered by the tiles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you won't visibly see the lead there. So
That's a job for getting dust in the
yeah,
eyes.
that's the trouble, isn't it? Yeah, we're just trying to get some of the dust off of there before we start felting in and doing that side of it. But hopefully next week, well after Easter, we should be in a position to start putting tiles back on again.
Joking.
There he is. That's the bloke you.
You are happy now?
Yes, here's boss man.
Yeah, he's the boss man.
Happy now?
But
Yes.
yeah, that's
You've explained it all to her?
Yeah, I think we got the gist of it now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's fine.
So you'll actually put some guttering back on
this
here, but
this
it'll-
wasn't.
Got anything on the front?
right.
As in, you got it that's been bought.
These
Can
are
you hear
new
me?
ones.
That's the ones we're bringing
Okay.
in to make up with these, you see. So other than the colour, I mean, that would be the new.
Does that
material.
particular stone harden once it's been cut and exposed to the air?
It does get harder, yes, yeah. These will harden up on the roof, yeah. They're freshly quarried, you see, so...
But they're a lovely mixed colour.
yes, that's right.
Just because you say they're freshly quarried, I expected them to be an absolutely bland colour, but they're not.
No,
It's
no,
lovely.
they're not. There's an orangey sort of colour and then a more slatey colour, but
Oh, yeah.
it takes about 2 years to 3 years to sort of blend in with, you know, to get the lichen and that on there. You'll always find the shady side of the roof is the more mossy side of the roof.
Yeah.
Where the sunny side of the roof,
Yes.
there's very little moss on that sort. So you would have, we would have actually had more moss on the back of the church than what we would have done on the front of the church, you know.
I can see what you mean about the rotten timber, because you haven't done this side yet, have you?
No, you can see that yourself that over the years it's just come away. It's just, but it's normal. That would be normal on an exposed gable end like this. You know, that closer to the church you wouldn't have it, but it's just one of those things. Like that's been there a long time.
So that will come out and you put a lead liner underneath, will you?
Well, we've ordered 150 by 100
Oh, the lead.
timber
Timbers
to
to go up there.
to fit right
Yeah.
right for, because it's 6 meters from top to
To the bottom.
from the ridge down to the bottom here, and we've ordered the timber so it's we slotted in, and then 100 by inch oak down there plate that sits on top of it,
Yes.
and then the 3 by 2 will come this side of it, which will hold it all in, and so that will give it the lead. The lead will be dressed down over that, and sliced in, and tied in. So
Wonderful.
that'll be both sides.
It really has. It's just
It's just gone, but it wasn't. It's not structural.
no.
You know,
just
it
age,
wasn't
isn't it?
structural. It's just. It was the lead who kept it in, really, and there was no leak, which is
Amazing.
amazing. Yes.
These timbers, these are the originals that you've just
Yeah.
brushed off.
Yeah.
And are they all pretty well in
yeah,
good
they're all
heart?
pretty sound. Yes. Yes.
That's-
They're all pretty sound.
So there's
everything-
nothing major to renew in the timber line
No,
then?
no.
So
only
it's
only this here
just-
and
just
the
up
new
that
sprockets, for the roof.
Oh
and
yes,
that's about it.
those very long timbers
Yeah,
that...
the beams. We're going to put
Yeah.
them, like they're cutting 3 of them now.
When you say dressing, does that mean cleaning
No,
them?
no. Like, let's say if you had a one that's like one of these. Now imagine it's larger, and this end would be like dusty,
Yes.
be gone. Well, you would dress it down until you reached a solid stone again,
Ah, right, so...
and then
yeah.
you would measure it up. You could use it as one of your small ones,
Yep.
or large, depending on how much waste you have. Re-drill it, and you can just put it back on again.
Why have you put that metal strip underneath there?
Well, it ties it all in. Ties these in.
Ties what in?
Guys, it's for strengthening. There's nothing before. There was nothing here. Just once this plate goes in here, this.
Ah, right, so it's to tie the
so
plates that
it's
you're
just
going to
tie
put in
it
at the end.
And also, we're putting band at 45-degree angles right up the roof. It's like
Okay.
it's about that wide that is screwed into the buttons,
Yes.
and it also gives it the strength. It stops it from fluctuating or movement or anything like that.
Right. I can see, like, well, the ends of bolts, screws and bolts up in the main beams up there.
Yes.
Has that gone right through from the inside?
That's right. They're bolted up inside. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Everything's tightened up and happy thinking.
16 inches long, yeah, and I think probably three courses of 16, I should think.
The majority of these slates in the first 5 courses are new. What are you using those for, Chris?
Show you what we want that for. That goes under the tops of those ladders, so we got a bit more room to get under them. See what I mean?
Ah, yes, just lift
So I'm
it
gonna
clear.
Prop those up clear, and then we can move the staging up and down on. This is the old ladder cripples that we're doing, and that gives us a working surface as we go up the roof. That's it. When he's out of reach on that scaffold there, we move it up to the level there to carry on toiling.
And you've got some sort of clip system here
Yeah,
supporting
that just
it.
hooks on the rungs of the ladder, you see.
We're here to abseil on the tower, and we're going to. Well, we've already done a bit of an inspection, so we've been having a look at defects in the stonework, and we've been doing remedial repairs to the pointing in the stonework. So repointing, defrassing, which means taking off loose bits of material, which might fall on people's heads, and weed removal as well. Yes.
I'll separate the sheets so it'll just come down to one big of those. Poison. You ain't still going on. You ain't still going on about that coffee. Alright. know what I mean? Perfect. Yeah. 25 metre this one. We keep the long ones together. Yeah, no, we'll have these three, fold them up. Right on then. I'm cracking on. Tell them to get one big one. I've had that. Yeah. That worked rather dashing, boys. So controlled. One more.
You can see here on the photograph that these corbels were dark and uninteresting. You've done something to them that actually makes them look brand new, but they're not. So can you explain what it is you've done and how you've done it?
Okay, well, I'm coating them with something called shelter coat, which is like a lime wash, but it's the same colour as the stone underneath, and it's got stone dust in it. And the idea is that you paint it on and work it into the surface of the stone, and then it fills up microscopic cracks and to some extent the pores of the stone, and makes it a bit tougher, and it then shelters the stone from atmospheric pollution and you know, further weathering for as long as the shelter coat lasts. So it shelters the stone, which is why it's called shelter coat. So I start by very lightly spraying the surface with a bit of water, and then stir the bucket of shelter coat. Because of all the stone dust in it, it tends to settle out very quickly, so it keeps stirring it. And then I paint it on. This has actually already had one coat, but it needs two. So oops, clear that off afterwards. And then when it first dries, it'll look very light, but we keep spraying it with water, lightly spraying several times a day over the next few days, and the colour will settle down and it'll end up stone coloured, the same as it has on the other side of the building.
Apart from doing those corbels, you've done that large expanse above it as well, haven't you?
Up here, this bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Because, well, it's all part and parcel of the corbel course, and the heads might look a bit strange if they were, you know, they were the only things protected in this way. There would be a bit of a colour contrast. So you paint it on and work it in. And I'll mention that the it has a magic ingredient in it, which is semi-skimmed milk. And
Semi-skimmed milk.
Semi-skimmed milk.
Right.
And we mix that half and half with water and use it to dilute the shelter coat down to the consistency of sort of pouring cream, really.
Now, what's in milk that makes you use that?
Well, as well as the reaction with the lime putty, which reacts with carbon dioxide in the air and becomes lime putty is calcium hydroxide, and it reacts with the carbon dioxide in the air to become calcium carbonate, which is the same as limestone. But with semi-skimmed milk in the mix as well, you get that reaction, and you get another one which gives you calcium caseinate, which is old-fashioned carpenter's glue. And so the result is that you get a tougher, more weatherproof shelter coat. So it lasts a bit longer on the building.
So you're brightening it, you're sealing little holes and cracks that
Yeah.
water could get in and freeze and help to break it up. So hence its name.
Yeah, and you know, over the next 10 years or so, this will actually weather off, except that it's surprisingly resilient in the little nooks and crannies, which is actually exactly where you need it most. So, yeah, so the effect that this will have on the stone, it'll carry on doing good for quite some time.
That's a particularly crumbly little bit just there,
That is,
isn't
yeah.
it?
And the reason why this stonework's deteriorated like this is it's suffering from sulfation, which is the result of the fact that all rainwater is very dilute sulfuric acid, because of sulphur from volcanoes, power stations, domestic coal fires, anything like that. And it attacks the surface of the limestone, and in sheltered areas where it doesn't get washed off by sufficient rain, you get a skin of calcium sulfate building up, and when it gets thick enough, it starts to expand and contract more than the stone underneath, and peels off, then eventually breaks and leaves an exposed surface, and then the process starts all over again.
So that's like this
Which is-
piece right in front of me.
Yeah, and on this bit you can see that edge there where the skin's peeled right out and then eventually broken off, and there's actually almost nothing you can do about it. It's just a natural weathering process.
It's a case of protecting what's
But
left.
doing this will slow it down anyway. Here we are fixing stainless steel bird mesh into the louver openings using screws and penny washers.